my name is Brittany and this is my beautiful model, Natalie. So today I'm going to show you how to do a simple smoky eye look with a bold lip, enhanced with some contour and highlighting. So we've already prepped Natalie's face shape, but the next step is going to be to identify her face shape in order to enhance the contour and highlight. So by doing that, it sounds really strange, but the easiest way to do that is to draw a shape around her face. So if you draw a square, you can see that Natalie's face does not fall in that shape. If you draw a heart, you can see that her face falls perfectly in that. And by that, she has a higher volume on the temple and it goes straight down to a beautiful point, okay? But the desired face shape is gonna be an oval. So we're gonna do that by contouring a little bit more from the temples and enhancing her jawline to create a beautiful oval face shape, okay? So the first step is gonna be to highlight. And by that, I'm gonna just use a simple vanilla shade, a little similar to Natalie's skin tone, but slightly lighter. And I'm just gonna grab a brush that's gonna be like this. So it's dense, it's rounded, and by that, it's gonna create the same shape of a cheekbone. So tapping into the vanilla shape, you're gonna wanna feel for the bone. Natalie's bone is right here. And I'm gonna highlight this portion, okay? So I'm gonna just smooth it on like this, okay? And then I'm gonna also highlight this portion. But because I want to slim down this area, I'm gonna focus the highlight more in the center of the face, and that way leaving this area for a contour, okay? So dipping back into my product, and I'm putting this slightly right on top of the arch. And if you notice, my hand is at the base of the brush, and by that, I'm able to pick up more pigment. If your hand is further towards the end of the brush, it's great for a lighter hand, which is perfect for blending. But when we're picking up the pigment, I personally like to hold it towards the center or towards the front of the brush, okay? And if you see that already, this side of the face is higher, it's lifted, it's fuller than the left side of the face, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and mirror that on the other side. Again, feeling for the bone, which is right here. And I'm gonna take my brush and just place and smooth that on, okay? So again, a beautiful cheekbone that we're enhancing. Take a little bit more, dust off the excess, skipping the temples, going towards the highest part of the arch, and blending out, okay? Just like that. And again, now you can see this side is fuller, it's lifted, and now we're gonna go ahead and do the jawline. So with Natalie's face shape, she has just a little bit more fullness on her right side than her left, which is normal, most of us do. And sometimes that happens from just sleeping on one side, which is pretty normal. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna enhance this side with a highlight. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna focus it right here where she's lost a little bit of volume and bring that back, okay? Bring that back and bring it in like that. And just with doing that simple little movement, this is already becoming a little bit fuller, okay? Can you see that? It's a little bit fuller, just like that. Now what you don't want to do with the highlight and the contour, at least my preference, is not to move your wrist too much, because when you do that, the pigment that you're placing can easily spread, and it's taking away the intensity and the focus of what a highlight and a contour is mainly for. So already we have a little bit more balance on this side, and I'm going to just add a little bit more of the highlight, bringing that in, like so. And I'm gonna take off volume on this side with the contour. So you can already see this side is coming out more. This one's gonna go down. Her high cheekbones are lifted, so beautiful, beautiful bone structure, really doesn't need too much of a highlight. Now we're gonna go in with her contour. And with a contour, I like more of a precise brush, something that's a little bit smaller, easy for me to control. So my preference is something like this, like a fluffy shader brush. And what I'm going to use is a nice cool tone brown. And by doing that, I'm able to mimic the same movement that a shadow would do. So I'm just going in with a cool tone brown, feeling for Natalie's cheekbones once again. Can you turn to the right for me? There we go. And what I'm going to do is just go from the hairline and down, okay? So I'm not going back and forth again. I'm just using a controlled wrist movement, going from in the hairline straight in and flicking. And you can see the brush naturally picks off where her bone ends, which is right here, okay? So just going in, and when we do that from the hairline, you don't see where the contour starts or ends. It just slowly enhances the jawbone. And if you turn straight forward, you can already see how high this is, okay? So often I see a low contour, and what that does is it just brings the face down. But if you feel for the cheekbone, and you go right there, it's just so easy to follow. Okay, and now I'm going to do the temples, and again we're trying to bring this volume in to create that beautiful oval shape. So I'm going to come from the hairline and bring that in, just like that, just like that. Again, I'm starting at the base of the brush because I want the most intensity. Don't be too scared. If you do put on too much product, you can go back in and blend it out. I also find that once you add the highlight and the blush, everything just seems to marry together and be very cohesive. But by doing that, this side of the face is already slimmer and lifted by adding the contour in, okay? And now the last part of this side is going to be the jawline. So again, we had a little bit more fullness on her right side than her left. And I'm going to go ahead and slim this part starting from the back of the ear, going straight down. Okay, now we turn for me, thank you. Going from the back of the ear, straight down, like this. And again, your brush just naturally comes off when it knows that the jawline ends right there. So this is just slightly enhanced. And what I'm going to do is bring this a little further up, kind of faking a slimmer jawline. So staying underneath is going to enhance it. Coming up a little bit more is also going to create a natural shadow and give the illusion that this part is cut off. So when you look straight, it already looks fuller. It looks a little bit more symmetrical, not as full as, or this side is not as full as the left side, excuse me. Okay, now I'm going to do the same on this side. And what I'm going to do is feel for Natalie's cheekbone again, right here, starting from her hairline, bringing it in, and the brush just naturally lifts off where it needs to, okay? Just like that. Again, instant facelift, just easy, easy, easy. And then going again from the temples, slimming this part down to create the oval face shape. Very intentional with a stroke, going to the hairline and back down, okay? Okay. You notice I'm not contouring all the way across her forehead because Natalie already has a beautiful, pretty symmetrical face shape. I don't say she has too much fullness on the forehead either. For myself, I have a further back hairline, so I like to contour a little bit more to give the illusion of a shorter forehead. But Natalie, I'm just stopping right here since the top part of her forehead isn't off balance compared to the rest of her face, okay? Now with this side of the jawline, I'm going to do an enhancement so that way it appears stronger just like her right side. So going from the back of the ear, if you can turn for me, back of the ear and down, and bringing that in, okay? And this, bringing it lower than her natural jawline is going to create a little bit of fullness, and it's also going to enhance the structure that she already naturally has, okay? So you can see both sides already a little bit more symmetrical and balanced. So now what I'm going to do is go in with a blush. One of my favorite tips to do is to use more than one blush. So I know that we're in a hurry, but once you get the hang of it, it's so simple and natural that you feel odd, like myself, if you only use one shade. So I like to use another brush, again, that's going to be flat, a little curve that's going to mimic the natural shape of the cheekbone. And I'm going to use more of a mauve tone this time. It's going to be kind of dark. It's going to look a little more like a contour shadow blush. And I'm going to start from the top of the hairline and bring that in. So you can face that way. And bring that down and up. And it's a flush tone brown. That's the easiest way I can explain it to clients in store. It's more of a flush tone brown, so it's going to really help bring everything in together, pull everything in from the contour to the blush. Just a straight mauve tone, the cool undertone, just like so. And again, I have my hand closest to the front part of the brush for the highest amount of intensity. So just by doing that, you can see this cheek is fuller, it's lifted. And now when I go in with a coral tone, I'm going to start this from the apple parts of the cheek, and it's going to really give her some nice volume. Natalie has beautiful bone structure. She has that high lifted cheekbone, but this is just going to enhance that even more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the apple and bring that back. And by doing that, I'm marrying all the colors together. Okay, So when you look straight, you can see all the colors are blended. You don't see where her contour is. You don't see where the first initial blush is. Everything is married together. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same on the other side. Turn that way for me, thank you. Going in with the darker blush tone, starting from the back, going forward. Again, this is that simple contoured blush. Think of something with a cool undertone. Mainly focusing on the back parts of the cheekbone for her. And then going in with your coral tone, I'm gonna go ahead and place this on the apple and brush backward. Okay? Just like so. Okay? So Natalie's face is complete with the contour and highlight. Typically, most people like to do the eye and then the lip last, but for me personally, I like to do the lip, so that way with someone like Natalie that has a perfect symmetrical lip, I can take my time and play with the rest of the eye. And we're gonna do a bold lip today. So I picked out more of like a cherry, darker red for Natalie. And I'm gonna use a lip brush. And I'm just gonna grab some tissue just in case I need to take off some of the intensity. What I'm gonna do is, if you can open for me, and I'm gonna just start by lining the lip and bringing it forward. So with this one, this consistency is a liquid lipstick. You can use a lip liner if you prefer, but with a liquid lipstick for myself, I feel like when you use a brush, it just allows 2 steps in one. So again, Natalie, we're in a pinch, but you wanna look glamorous. So I just like to do the brush instead of the lip liner and then the liquid lipstick. You can get the perfect line like that. Okay. And now Natalie has very full symmetrical lips, as I mentioned before. Typically a lip will be 30-70, and by that the fullness will be 30% versus 70%. I would say Natalie has a great 40-60, even almost a 50-50, okay? So I'm gonna just start by lining the Cupid's bow and bringing it back down. And Natalie is very blessed and doesn't need to overline. Again, this is preference for a client. At this point is when I would ask someone, are you comfortable with your natural fullness of your lip, or can we have some fun and would you like me to overline? Okay. And I'm just bringing this slightly down. So with a darker pigment, I do like to take my time on the top part of the lip. Okay. Just because if you get out super easy, we can go ahead and clean that up afterwards. But I do like to take my time because, again, the focus is going to be on the lip itself. Just like that. And bringing it back in, starting from the corner. Just like that, okay? Open a little bit wider for me. Good trick, make sure you always get the inside parts of the lips as well. Those are easily missed, okay? And now look straight for me. Perfect. All right. Okay, and I'm just making sure that this one is a little bit more symmetrical as well. And there we have Natalie's bold lips. We're gonna go in with a simple smoky eye. So since we already finished Natalie's highlight and contour and the lip, we're just gonna do a simple smoky look. So what I'm gonna do is go in with a fluffy brush first, and I'm gonna feel for Natalie's bone structure, and I'm gonna just take a soft matte brown, and using a fluffy brush, Natalie's eye open, going all the way towards in. So you see, I'm doing this because Natalie doesn't have neither wide set or close set eyes. They're pretty symmetrical and balanced. So I'm gonna just go ahead with a nice brown shade and go all the way through. I'm gonna do the same on this side. Keep your eye open for me, and I'm gonna feel for the bone and push all the way through, just like that. Just like that. And then I'm gonna use a flat shader brush like this. I'm gonna pick up a nice shimmer, and what I'm gonna pick up is a good, beautiful mid-tone bronze. I'm gonna pack this on the eyelid, and I'm using a flat brush, and it's gonna allow me to pick up more of the pigment. I'm holding the brush towards the front of the brush, again, higher intensity by doing so. And I'm gonna go in with a lighter shimmer shade, And this is gonna create a nice wide-eye appearance for Natalie, okay? Okay. And doing the same on the other side. Very simple, easy smoky that you can recreate at home. And then by cleaning off the brush, you just pick up a tissue. And by cleaning off your brush and taking off the excess amount of product, I'm gonna go in and just make sure that everything is blended. Now, everything that we do on top, we wanna make sure that we mirror it on the bottom. So I'm gonna go in, same steps of the order with the light shade brown, the mid-tone brown, and the shimmers as well. So I'm gonna pick up a nice flat brush like this. I'm gonna go in with that beautiful brown shade, and Natalie, open and look up for me. And I'm gonna start by wiggling at the base and bringing it in, okay? All the way in, picking up a little bit more product, and doing the same on this side. Okay, just like that. Now we're gonna go in with the darker shade, more of like a chocolate, and open and look up, and we're gonna wiggle that at the root. Just like that on both sides. We can even darken up the eye by adding a little bit more of the chocolate into the top part of the eye. So just focusing that on the outer V. Just like that. By using a nice, more like a rounded tip brush. It's gonna give me some more intensity, but it's gonna allow the shade to really pick up and create a beautiful crease for Natalie that she already has, but just to enhance it, okay? Just like that. Very simple, easy smoky eye. The main focus is gonna be on the lip, so we want the eye to be very balanced and proportional. And now I'm just gonna go in with a eyeliner. I'm gonna choose black to offset everything that's very warm. Black is gonna enhance a little bit more of the cool tone, so it'll bring out the browns and the red and the cranberry of the lip. So I'm just gonna take the eyeliner and bring that towards the base of the root, inward. Okay. All the way, just like that. I'm going only 2/3 of the way in, like this, wiggling at the root. And I'm gonna do the same on this side. Okay. Just like that, okay? I'm also gonna do the bottom lash line for Natalie. So Natalie, open and look up for me. And again, just the outer portion, we're gonna mimic the same thing on both sides. And just like that. And now we're gonna finish off with some mascara. Okay, and that's our completed look on Natalie. So again, we did the highlight and contour, we did a bold lip, and a simple wearable smoky eye. And this whole look took 20 minutes. So thank you so much for watching. This is a great way for you to transition from summer to fall. Thank you.